go ahead and talk about the match.
I knew I had to come out hard and ready to wrestle, as every match, but it's a familiar opponent. I've wrestled a couple times, and he's real explosive. When he decides to go, he goes, and he goes hard. So you got to be ready at all times, because he's real quick, like the snap of a finger. He can be in on you, and he finishes quick. So I just knew I had to be ready to wrestle, extra ready.
Jim Nelson with the Waterloo Cedar Falls Courier. Cory, you look back, I'm sure there's a lot of things going through your head in that last 30, 40 seconds. When you escaped 6-3, are you thinking you got to stay in strong position, thinking back to the duel?
It's a good point. Told myself over and over, if I get a lead, just keep wrestling, and sometimes that's hard to do with short time on the clock, and I feel like I did kind of go back a little bit and maybe shut down a little, but not in the duel. I kind of shut down completely. I wasn't really getting to my tie, and this time I felt like I at least had my tie, and I probably stopped going to my attacks, but I had tie and had my tie and my head position, so it ended up working out, I guess.
Thank you. KJ Pilcher with the Cedar Rapids Gazette. Things look like you kind of stepped things up a little bit when you got that reversal in the second period. Was that maybe a little bit of a wake-up call that you had to push the pace a little bit?
Yeah, I came out looking to score first, and he got the first. I wasn't able to score in the first period. Fought off a good leg attack, and then when he got that reversal, it was really time to go. Which, whenever I'm on bottom, I'm always usually pretty quick to my feet. So, I mean, maybe it was a little bit of a wake-up call, or maybe it was just me continuing to wrestle.
Chad likes to go to Des Moines Register. Were you aware of what happened to Gilman right before you went on the mat?
Yeah, I heard. Terry told me Gilman got pinned, and at first, my first instinct was I was a little bit shocked and kind of like blew me off my feet for a second. But then I just took a breath and just brushed it off my mind, because I can't be thinking about those things. I mean, that type of stuff happens. I mean, you wrestle on dual teams your whole life. Stuff like that happens before you go out, and you can't let it affect you.
Cody Goodwin, Daily Iowan, that reversal in the third to put you up 6-2, he got in on that shot. What did you see? What was going through your mind down there on the edge?
With like when I got the reversal off of his shot, I mean, it was a good shot by him, and the number one defense for me to go to is legs back, and he kind of stopped that. He kind of cut me back, so I couldn't really go legs back. So I'm a good scrambler, and you don't want to be scrambling unless you have to, and that was a situation where I had to scramble, and I scrambled to my best ability and came out on top.
KJ Pilcher with the Cedar Rapids Gazette. You're moving on to the 133-pound finals, just like Ramos did a year ago. Does that mean anything to you to be following in his footsteps, and has he had any influence on your development at all?
Yes, definitely. I mean, we were roommates. Just coming to Iowa in general, it's guys like Ramos is one of the guys you look up to, and you wanna wrestle like that guy. And I mean, youth, kids, everyone. There's a lot of people out there that want to wrestle like Tony Ramos, and I happen to be one of those people. He was my roommate, so I mean, I got a real idea of how he lives his life and how he got to the national title, and gave me good footsteps to walk in.
Andy Hamilton, Des Moines Register. Cory, you got a moment before the round even started where Tony came down in the stands and said something to you. Can you share what was said then?
Real short and sweet. It was just, you know how to beat this guy. You got to wrestle the full 7 minutes, and I know you can beat him, and you know you can beat him. Good luck. Something like that, and that's all I needed to hear. When he initially waved me over, it was kind of like I was trying to get ready for my match, and I don't really want to go just talk to someone about nonsense, and I was hoping he wasn't going to try and start some random conversation, but luckily he was on the same page I was on.
Gary Abbott, USA Wrestling. What's your history with Brewer, and what's your thoughts about your opponent tomorrow?
Brewer, no history there. We've never wrestled. Almost positive on that, and I mean, thoughts on him, he's obviously a tough wrestler. He's in the national finals. I haven't really watched him a whole lot. I feel like from score-wise, I feel like he's been dominating guys, and I mean, it doesn't really worry me or scare me because I know in order for me to win a national title, I got to wrestle at my very best, and I'm sure he's thinking along the same lines. So, should be interesting. We'll see what happens.
Final questions for Cory Clark.